All right, this is not my home office, as you can see. There are no shutters behind me. I am actually in Los Angeles. I was on NBA Today with Malika Andrews and Brian Windhorst. I'm in LA for the trade deadline week, working out of the LA studios all week. So if you could see the contraption that I have set up right now, I do not have a tripod with me. That is actually in my hotel. So I have a box and I don't know, something else that's basically saved my rear end, that it's basically my phone is positioned here. So we're making chicken blank into chicken soup, as they say. But I wanted to do a video, and I know we did a Harden video a couple weeks ago when Woj had broken the news that Brooklyn was not going to engage with Philadelphia on a Harden deal. Certainly there's been a lot of Harden talk over the last couple days here. Certainly when Brooklyn is not playing well, and you have a player like Harden who's going to be a free agent, and the Ben Simmons situation has not been resolved, you just start connecting the dots here. And so I've been working on a Harden article. It's going to come out after the trade deadline. And the one thing, and I think people are missing the boat a little bit here about Harden, Brooklyn and Philadelphia, is how much does Sean Marks trust James Harden? That's my big question. Acquired in a trade last January, there is a 1 year of a body of work to build a relationship. This is different than Bradley Beal, who's a homegrown product in Washington, and there is a tremendous relationship between the organization and Beal. There's a trust level between both sides. Portland, Damian Lillard, there's a trust level with both sides here, where if it's Beal, if he wants out, he'll make it known to Tommy Shepard, and they'll work out a solution here. Where if you're Brooklyn, you are going by your gut and your relationship. Don't get me wrong. There's been a year's worth to build this relationship. That James Harden is going to be part of the future. That's my big question here. Is that how much does Sean Marks, the Brooklyn Nets GM, trust James Harden going forward? And I think we're going to learn about that. And we know he didn't sign the $161 million extension in the offseason. At the time, Harden said it was not about the money. Well, we're going to find out if it was not about the money here as far as what's going to happen next. I respect him when he said he has never been a free agent before. And you look at the 5 contracts that James Harden has signed, extensions, renegotiations, his rookie contract in Oklahoma City, he has not tested free agency. He's going to be 33 in August. He has never been wooed before. Everybody likes to be wooed. So he has the right to do that and go through the process as far as being a free agent and seeing what else is out there besides Brooklyn. My question also is that the loyalty factor here. And Harden has said everything he said is the right things as far as how he loves the organization. He loves being part of this team. This was in the offseason. This is not, a week ago. That he wanted to play out the year, but that all signs were that he was going to be a Brooklyn Net for the long future. I've heard that before. We heard it with Kyrie Irving in 2018 in Boston during their Fan Appreciation Day. And a year later, Irving goes to the Nets, signed with cap space. Like, things change really, really quick in this league. What is good in the offseason is not good during the regular season when you've lost 8 games or you lose in the first round or in the second round. And although Harden has said the right things, I do think the Nets have to have their guard up, not right now, but when we do get to the offseason. I don't blame Brooklyn, and certainly I would like to know what Philadelphia would offer. I think that's the curiosity part of me. But You have basically made an all-in trade when you got Harden. You're going to see this through. Although Ben Simmons could help you in the future, a Ben Simmons trade at the deadline does not help you now. You're basically just punting away. As great as Kevin Durant is, you're punting away the playoffs for a player and Simmons who has not played since July. I would rather go down swinging with Harden. We'll see what happens with Kyrie, and then address this in the offseason. You're probably saying, well, isn't that a big risk for Brooklyn? Listen, Brooklyn has leverage, right? And I understand the notion where Philadelphia can move Tobias Harris or move Ben Simmons and open up cap space and basically wave their middle finger at Brooklyn and say, you know what? You had your opportunity to go out and get him. We're going to sign him with cap space. And it comes back to the notion where, is it about the money? Is it not about the money? The cap space direction. What is James Harden going to take $130 million less? Is he going to want to go the sign and trade route where he's going to take $70 million less and hard cap the Sixers? Certainly the opt-in scenario where Harden gets his preferred team and also the Nets get players back. All different scenarios here. I think if you're Brooklyn, you're just playing this out, and then you are addressing where you get to the offseason. Is it a risk? Everything's a risk, especially when you have a player on an expiring contract here. But how I look at this landscape, and I know I've said it before, where you have teams like now Indiana and Detroit and Orlando and San Antonio. There's no Oklahoma City out there where you can be a dumping ground of contracts except those 3 or 4 teams. Even the Thunder, because of the Kemba Walker contract, because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, they're going to have $15 to $16 million in room. Not enough to take $36 and $37 million of Tobias Harris. Guy has 2 years left after this year to take that back in. And Daryl Morey is one of the most creative GMs out there. He did the Chris Paul opt-in and trade to Houston. There are ways to figure out cap space here. But if I am the Nets, I am slow playing this and playing this out. And I'm not engaging with the Sixers and feeling that they're pressured to do it just because we've lost 8 games in a row and we are the 7th seed here. And we'll see what happens in the offseason. I believe that neither player will be traded. We'll get to the offseason, and we'll be talking about James Harden, Ben Simmons again. So a little bit of a different video than we did a couple weeks ago here regarding the future of Harden in Brooklyn. As I said, it's all a matter of how much the Sean Marks trust James Harden and the relationship they've built over the last year.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.